Jordan Tower, guys. So Em Smurf, we're bringing back. He commented on this order of protection against with Irv Gotti, 50 Cent, all this stuff. This stuff came out a while back. Okay, so he kind of confirmed that this happened. Now, oh yeah, Jay Romero said free Max B, man. I spoke to Max B yesterday through mail, so me and him are in communication. But anyways, what's good, guys? So basically, I don't know how it showed up on your guys' thing. It should have showed up. Em Smurf responded to Yo Gotti, but it's all good. So anyways, let's talk about this whole thing that happened with Em Smurf and the order of protection and everything that happened. So let's see. Let me bring it up. Em Smurf commented on this whole thing. Irv Gotti was on the Breakfast Club the other day, and he was commenting on the order of protection that happened with 50 Cent. You know, remember in the Hit Factory, Ja Rule, Irv Gotti was in there before 50 Cent was signed, and they went after 50 Cent, and 50 Cent supposedly got this order of protection against Irv Gotti and 50 Cent. So, I mean, Irv Gotti and Ja Rule. So, but I don't think that's really accurate, because a lot of people got stabbed. Even the engineer got stabbed. Okay, that's what's crazy. So let me see. Okay, so
he's calling me a pussy.
Okay, so this is the part that Irv Gotti and 50 Cent were going back and forth on this past week.
I remember you was like, that's Curtis Jackson. Come on. What? Hold on. That's 50 Cent, y'all. You like dropped the mic. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for 1 second. Shouldn't that have been in the real world the death blow? The guy who's proclaiming to be the roughest, toughest Don Dada bully. Nigga, you got beat up and poked up, and you ran to the precinct and pressed charges on us. And the really death blow, you took out an order of protection. That's like shit your baby mother does and shit like that. That's women shit. And you're saying I smell pussy? It's you, nigga. You understand? It ain't us. You smelling yourself, nigga. You understand? So it's like when I really sat and I think, I swear to God, I thought of her. And I looked at Rule and I say, strap in, nigga, we on ready for a rough ride, nigga. Because they ain't hearing us. Doesn't matter what we say, they not hearing us. We just gotta sit and weather the fucking storm while this nigga is...
So Irv Gotti tried to bring out this whole order of protection thing, and nobody believed him. And then Em Smurf was asked about it.
They gotta eat. Remember, they stick up kids, they rob. It's like, that's what they do, my nigga. And they was always had a little beef, like, cause
now he's talking about, there's a guy named E Moneybags and those guys. Now these guys were from Queens, okay?
So. No, like the Murder Inc. camp wasn't really built like that. Like, ain't nobody in that camp really thorough to really say, like, you know what I mean? Like, Black Child, nigga, he got his little street rep, but like, niggas ain't no killers, in no other words, if I want to put it like that. So. Just because you're from the street, you fight a lot, or you might get busy, but it's like, that don't mean you a killer. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't really had no killers around them, and Preem was their only strength, and Preem ain't no killer. Preem will pay a nigga to blow your top off. He like a 50. Them niggas ain't no killers, but they'll pay a nigga to blow your top off.
Okay, so Em Smurf, okay, he used to be down with 50 Cent right when 50 Cent blew up with Eminem, and then Em Smurf and 50 had their own problems, and Em Smurf broke off. But Em Smurf was like the real street dude of G Unit before they had to distance himself from Em Smurf. I think Em Smurf had a problem with somebody. 50 Cent kind of had to distance himself from him. That's a whole nother story. But anyways, Em Smurf was the real street cat in that clique, right? So he's commenting on the whole situation. He's saying Murder Inc. wasn't built like that. Like they weren't tough, but they knew they could hire people that were tough. Like, you know, they might have had, just because you sold crack in the hood doesn't mean you were tough. It just meant that, you know, you did a few things here and there. But he's talking about being tough. Then he gets into the order of protection thing that Irv Gotti was talking about at the Hit Factory when, you know, 50 Cent and Ja Rule had their problems. Okay, Ja Rule tried to get the whole team together to attack 50 Cent. This is kind of what happened.
Ain't got no street dudes with him. Who? Who from the streets besides Green they had? Who? So all I heard ain't the most never. Nah. And Cream was living off of the 80s. We didn't want to hear that. Like, niggas don't want to hear that. Supreme Team shit, that was back then. You understand what I'm saying? But salute to them niggas or whatever now. Like, I don't want to speak to nobody. I'm doing me. I'm just keeping it 100 in 2016. But one thing Irv did say that Meek asked him, he said, are they really rats? Did they really get an order of protection? And Irv said that everybody knows that. But this is something that the radio didn't want to believe back when G-Unit was coming up. Yeah, and then...
Now, so basically, he's talking about the whole order of protection thing that happened, and that it fell on deaf ears. Like, nobody wanted to believe that. No, he's talking about it.
Got stabbed in his... So he was the one pushing the lawsuit. So he actually pressed charges. Yeah, I talked Yayo out of it exists. It's true. But I talked Yayo out of not suing because what they was going to do, they was going to sue. I think the engineer was the main nigga who really got injured the most. He got stabbed in his chest, so he was the one pushing the lawsuit. So he actually pressed charges. You know what I mean? So that's how 50 and Yayo got caught up in it because Yayo got stabbed. He went in his hand. He went and got stitches, and 50 got poked in the back. You know what I mean? But that order of protection do exist. I had to actually talk Yayo out of it. Like, you can't be suing, nigga. We don't want before you tell me about the situation. I'm like, nah, nigga, you can't do that, nigga. We from the fucking streets, nigga. Fuck you talking about you about a suit, nigga. That's the time niggas was broke. They ain't really had none. You're a hustler. So he's like, nigga, fuck that. We about to get rich, nigga. We hope, nigga. You know how we do. I'm like, yo, son, you fucking bugging. Nigga, ain't none of that happening. What? But I actually talked Yayo out of that. You know what I'm saying? The paperwork do exist.
So he's talking about this paperwork, this order of protection, but the only reason 50 Cent and Yayo were on it is because the engineer was suing and they had to go to the hospital to get patched up, right? So they were named on this whole thing. And he kind of clarifies that 50 Cent had nothing to do with it, though, like right around this time. He goes...
Thanks, sir.
What do you say right here?
Nigga said, fuck that, nigga, we finna come up. I said, nah, nigga, we ain't doing that. And this is facts. Nigga, and if you say I'm lying, he's a certified sucker. Live on 134, we had 101, nigga. This is before G-Unit even started, nigga, when they was just running around on some solo 50 Cent shit and Yayo was his hype man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say Fifth was gonna do it. It just fell on him because it was under his studio session. The nigga got injured in it. You did? And paperwork do exist, though.
So the paperwork exists because it was 50 Cent's session, and the engineer got stabbed up. You know, the innocent engineer. It wasn't like they had a hood engineer. They were in Hit Factory, you know? So this all went down in the Hit Factory, you know? So that's just kind of crazy, man, you know? So 50 Cent didn't have anything to do with it. It's just that he was kind of, because it was his session, he was named on the paperwork. So, you know, 50 Cent details this whole situation on a video I just released. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a video I just released of 50 Cent talking about this whole thing. I'll play it right now, just so you guys can hear it live.
What was crazy is they were so scared, and Shaka was doing radio.
I said, yo, man, I'm like, yo, we gotta get like, nah, we can't wait.
Right, I mean, after that, Hit Factory.
Yeah.
There always some suckers, man. Let me tell you, the door was super narrow, right? In the hallway upstairs in Hit Factory, the little rooms they got upstairs. Yeah. It's super narrow, right? They came
small
and closed the door. The door that they was in my jacket is in their room. Look, there's two doors right here, right? My jacket is in this room. The hallways are narrow enough for us to walk through, that's it. They come close this door. They in there, they just let them close the door. My gun is in the jacket in that room. So we gotta go through the scrapping on this side. The boy gets stabbed in the chest. The DJ, who at this time I ain't got no money, I'm not paying him. How am I supposed to control what he does after that? He's looking at it like it's paid. Oh, they're gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
They feeling like I'm supposed, like I'm doing it.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Like I'm telling them to do that. So you know how the old heads deal with anything. You know what I mean? So that's why I go down when I go down. But the whole situation bugged out. But they got my fucking pistol in the other room. Sitting there, I'm down before these niggas done ran down, I can't even get my pistol. I want to shoot a nigga going down the steps.
If that pistol was in that
It would have been alright if I did that. It would have been self-defense still. But then all that many people came in there, whole different thing.
If that pistol was
I
in
would have
that
changed
room,
everything.
oh my shit.
Better I'd have let this swing me off in there with a bunch of niggas too. Bam, niggas been back. Two niggas get hit by one bullet.
Yeah, but then if that would have happened, this situation right here might not have happened. So you gotta know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. That's true.
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
Now,
When you gonna do it, you want it to go the other way. Cause I'm like, what? Then I didn't even go to the hospital. The scratch I had only was 3 stitches. I didn't go to I went home. And I'm in the radio here and I went to the hospital. So they had me, I was like, alright. That's when it just
I left with 2 scratches.
The day after.
You know what I mean? Right there, right there. 2 scratches, that's all bitch ass niggas can do. You know what I mean?
About that.
They always make it bigger than it is.
So what Irv Gotti was talking about, that he paid everybody's hospital bills. 50 Cent claims that, nah, I never even went to the hospital. So how are you going to pay hospital bills? And like Tony Yayo said, he didn't go to the hospital. So what's going on here? You know, it's like this keeps getting brought up, you know, and what really happened back then, man, Irv Gotti and Ja Rule and all them were trying to stop 50 Cent from getting in the game. So imagine that, okay? So like you're trying to get in the game and you're getting blackballed. And he found a way in with Eminem and Dre. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. I like Irv Gotti, Ja Rule in their camp, and I like 50 Cent in their camp. But this whole beef thing, it's still going in 2017, man. This is like 20 years old, this beef, you know? Like, seriously, it's almost 20 years old, man. I don't know, man.